trap like bitch, we wanna trap like
Good evening, race fans, and welcome here to Saturday Night Dirt Clash for the inaugural race here at the Knoxville Raceway and the Pro Late Model Series. Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the show. My name is Nolan Ramble. I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here from start to finish of what should be an amazing night of dirt racing action. The idea of this event was originally formatted just to kind of create a nice casual weekly racing feel with a little bit of a twist thrown into it, with the points, of course, being tracked across all of our series. These sessions are, of course, open to the public, so if you find yourself wanting to get in on the action, you can feel free to tune in on iRacing.com. Same time, same place overall next week, or even later on tonight, as we will also have the 358 Modifieds getting set to race for their season opener at the Lucas Oil Speedway, and the 360 Sprint Cars over at Volusia Speedway Park. But for now, at the Knoxville Raceway, we are getting set to rumble away for our first ever race in the Pro Late Model Series. It's not a big field at the moment. Only 6 drivers have registered, and out of those drivers, it's looking like only about 4 of them will actually be taken to the racetrack. But hey, humble beginnings. We're expecting to get more and more cars in throughout the showing here tonight, as we have drivers continuing to circle their way around the racetrack. It's been a long time coming for this one. This has been in the works for some time, and just now managed to get off the ground here tonight. But want to once again thank you, everybody, for taking the time to join us here on what has been a beautiful Saturday evening as we get set to go racing under the lights here at the Knoxville Raceway. Just now waiting on the last couple of drivers to work their way around the race course here as we continue to get ourselves sorted here in this one. And I have a feeling we're going to be in for a very exciting race then here tonight, as you know that these guys will be wanting to get themselves high up on the field. Hey, while there might be more drivers showing up later on in the series, it's good to sometimes get yourself off the ground here early. Practice is complete. We're going to roll over into qualifying here in this one, and you're going to have a lot of drivers that are going to be looking to take it to the racetrack, most notably Stephen Purcell, Clayton Nettleton, Zachary Nelson, and Eric Solberg-Dawn, the 4 drivers that we saw rounding the laps over in practice. Purcell is the first one to take it up there on the racetrack at the moment, but Dawn not that far off, as he is currently rounding turns 3 and 4, but struggling with his number 12 car to get it underneath him. Meanwhile, here comes Stephen Purcell hitting that back straightaway for the first time, as he gets set to see if he can put that 57 Navy car up on pole position. These drivers have a total of 3 laps that they're able to utilize over here in qualifying so far. Purcell going to lock away with provisional pole for now with an 18.723, but the lap time is going to be looking to tumble down relatively quickly here as you ride on board with Purcell as he fires it off of turn number 4, back down the front straightaway. Now half a second back for Todd Frolick, not able to improve, and Frolick is going to remain on pole position. Meanwhile, Zachary Nelson trying to improve. Clayton Nettleton, though, going to put himself up on provisional pole, as it will be Todd Frolick to go all the way up there into that second position. You also see William Staples just entered the arena, a very late registration in his number 69 car. We'll see if he'll be looking to take it to the racetrack in qualifying for this one, as Clayton Nettleton will be rounding the race course for the final time in his number 56 car, currently sitting on provisional pole with an 18.045. Nettleton, though, yellow in the first half of the lap, and that's going to be yellow in the second half as well. No improvement for Nettleton, as Todd Frolick put himself back in the field as well. Just want to get some extra practice laps in. Taking a look at our format here really quickly as we continue to watch these guys get some extra practice lap in. There is a maximum of 8 heat races on the night, but obviously with us only having now 7 cars officially registered for this event, we're only going to be using 1 of those heat races. Tonight, the top 2 will advance up to the feature, and if iRacing so deems, we are going to be running through a brief consolation race as well, but once again, every driver will be finding themselves up in the 40-lap feature event here tonight for the Knoxville Raceway. William Staples has managed to take it to the racetrack, so we'll see what Staples is able to do. The number 69 car, seeing if he can put that car up on provisional pole. Currently, it's a 0.6 of a second spread between Nettleton and Purcell for your top 5, as that 69 car going to reel his way, hitting that back straightaway. Made that, I think, the front straightaway, actually, as we fire it back down into turn number 1. That was actually the back stretch, excuse me, as we continue to work our way through qualifying. Currently back in the field at 18.795. Still, though, has 2 laps to make another effort at it. Into 3 and 4. The 69 circling his way back down the pit straight. Any improvements made? It will be a slight improvement. He's now up to 4th place, set at an 18.476 that last time by. Still needs, though, to improve by 4.5 of a second if he wants to get himself up there on pole position. Will not improve on his 3rd lap. 18.703 will be the end of qualifying then for William Staples, who will have to settle for that 4th position. Robert Himes at the moment is the only driver that has not set a qualifying time in his number 4 car, but he, of course, had himself knocked out early over in qualifying. So he will, oh, not a qualifying, excuse me, he left the practice session prior to the qualifying even going live. So it's unlikely that we're going to be seeing him making an appearance so far tonight. We look to the next couple of races, though, here in the Pro Lane Model Series, and we're going to a small one up next. It's a bit of a bull ring. The Federated Auto Parts Speedway at I-55 will be race number 2 with a dirt track at Charlotte. You want shorter tracks, though, with some bigger fields? Check out the 358 Modified Series, which will be the next series up immediately following this Pro Lane Model race. They are at the Lucas Oil Speedway for their season opener, and of course, we'll be seeing the sprint cars out later tonight over in Volusia as well. But for now, 10 seconds remaining on the clock here in qualifying. We get set to go racing here for what will be the first time out of 3 official races tonight. And don't forget, it will be Clayton Nettleton to get an extra 3 bonus points for qualifying up on pole position. So Nettleton already off to a decent start here in this Pro Lane Model Series Championship. But we are now in heat race number 1, so we're going to take a rundown here of your starting grid for the heat race here. Clayton Nettleton is going to be on pole position with Todd Frolick down over in 2nd place. You've got Zachary Nelson going to be over in 3rd with William Staples down at 4th. Eric Solberg-Dawn is going to be in 5th with Stefan Purcell in 6th. Travis Schmidt, another latecomer, going to be down in 7th place, coming in at the end of qualifying. I'm not sure if he'll be able to grid up in time. Robert Himes not qualifying either. He will be starting down in that 8th position. Drivers are all gridded on up, and we are now ready to rumble away. And Travis Schmidt actually did make it up to the racetrack, so we're going to have all 7 cars here getting set for a race for heat race number 1, and our only heat race on the night here at the Knoxville Raceway. The 25 car of Clayton Nettleton now with 3 extra bonus points in the back pocket. Going to be up first. He will also get another 5 bonus points if he can hang on to the heat race win. And if he can carry that win through to the feature, that would then lock him in at a very, very solid 54 points to start off his evening. 58 points to start off his season. Would be a huge step up from him as we take our 2nd lap behind the iRacing safety truck. And as we hit the back straightaway, I want to say thank you for joining us for this great race here on this Saturday night. First ever race here in Saturday Night Dirt Clash. In the hands now of Clayton Nettleton as Face trucks down and into pit road. Jumps on the loud pedal. War Green Flag Racing in heat race number 1. Nettleton already a couple car lengths clear of the field while we were racing side by side for that second position. Todd Frolick trying to get a move up here on Zachary Nelson as we bomb it down the front straight for the first time today. William Staples is already down 3 positions as he's gotten up and into the outside wall early on lap number 1 of 8 of this 8-lap heat race. Here comes the 25. Todd Frolick to the inside of Zachary Nelson, trying to pull alongside with the 07 machine down the front straightaway. Top 2 advance automatically into the feature race tonight. The 07 and the 25 still side by side for the transfer spot. Frolick up top, Nelson on the bottom, or Nelson on top, Frolick on the bottom. The aggressive 25 is going to clear for second place. And Zachary Nelson will have to settle that one out a little bit later on in tonight's event. Battling going on in the background as well as Stefan Purcell is fighting it out with William Staples for 7th place on the racetrack. These spots not for anything at the moment, but they are still fighting it out with whatever they got. Staples, though, into the outside wall in a huge way. So Purcell will cling on. Leaving your top 3 as the closest trio at the moment out there on the racetrack. Up onto the berm is the 25. As Todd Frolick tries to run down Clayton Nettleton for a heat race win. But Nettleton clear by about 7/10 of a second. Probably not going to get there. We're almost 3 wide at the back, though. Purcell way deep. He's going to lose all sorts of time. William Staples shoving his way up by Eric Solberg-Dawn up into the 6th position. White flag is out, though, for Clayton Nettleton as he rounds the Knoxville Raceway for the final time in heat race number 1. And it will be checkered flag for the 25 car. He'll take heat race 1. Todd Frolick will lock himself into the feature event. The rest of these drivers will be set to race it out over in the feature as Purcell tries to outdrag the 12 at the line. Not able to get there, though. So the results then for heat race number 1 up on your screens. It was Nelson from Frolick, Nelson, Schmidt, Staples, Don, Purcell, and Himes brought up the rear of the field. We will now quickly move on over into the starting grid. This is of your one and only consolation race. Zachary Nelson up on pole position with Travis Schmidt beside him on the front row. Then it's William Staples, Eric Solberg, Don, Stefan Purcell. Once again, Robert Himes bringing up the rear of the field, but I don't think he'll be able to have anything to say about how this fight's going to pan out. Drivers get 1 sole bonus point if they win your consolation race. So the winner of this one will get a sole consolation point as 5, make that 4 cars, roll off for a quick 10-lap sprint. And after these 10 laps, we will find ourselves racing over in the A main tonight. 40 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. This is a mandatory consolation race that must take place, but all of these drivers will be moving on into the feature event tonight. Stefan Purcell did not grid up in time, but the number 57 car will be having to start this B main down from pit road. So it will now be in the hands of Zachary Nelson to take this field to the green flag. He was 3rd place in heat race 1, and now he's your pole sitter for the B main. Pace truck is down in. We're back to green flag racing contact and 3 wide already. Deeper in the field, the 3 and the 12 getting stacked up with the 69. Oh, in trouble! The 69 car going around on the back straightaway. And we're going to have ourselves a yellow flag out on the speedway with Zachary Nelson up there in the lead. Pace truck files out onto the race course. As we will get a look back on what happened here. Coming around through turns 1 and 2, it was contact between the 69 and the 12, just turned him. Misjudged that, all sorts of wrong on the back straightaway. They managed to save it, but it was not close enough. The caution flag comes out. Pace truck going to lead this field of 5 around. That will allow for Purcell, I believe, actually now stuck a lap down and will not be able to get that lap back. So Purcell will be kind of stuck down there for the 5th place as all drivers lined up behind the iRacing pace truck. On board with Solberg here. He was right behind the 69 as this happened, and yeah, just misjudged that one. Tried to slide up in front of him, and it didn't quite work out the way he was hoping for. So we are on caution number 1 officially of the Saturday Night Dirt Clash brought out in the B-Main in our inaugural race of the Pro Late Model Series. Caution laps do not count. We will still have, I believe it'll be about 7 laps left to go when we take it to the green flag, which is coming around this time by. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Saturday Night Dirt Clash. You're watching our one and only consolation race in a 7-car field for the season opener of the Pro Late Model Series. Currently in this B main, you've got Nelson, Schmidt, Staples, Dawn. Purcell is a lap down. Himes is all the way back in 6th. Pace truck's down, and then we're back to green flag racing. Washing way up and wide is the 12, trying to hang on. He's going to wrestle that one back, but I think William Staples just sent him down in the turns 1 and 2. Zachary Nelson continuing to lead the way. Behind them, William Staples hanging on for 3rd place, while Travis Schmidt starting to close in on the race leader in the 07 car up the road. Washing now wide is going to be the number 3 car. So is Purcell, who almost gets up and into the outside wall. Halfway through the B-main, this time by. William Staples set his personal best lap that last time around. Currently, Nelson has the fastest lap in the B-main of an 18.52. Four laps left to go. Zachary Nelson still out by a country mile as Travis Schmidt continues to try to reel in that 07 car up the road. Schmidt so far having a solid run for himself as we continue to very steadily tick the laps away. Now going to be 3 to go this time by at the line. Make that now 2 to go as Nelson will take the cross flags at start finish. And that will equate the white flag this time around. No one is even close to being able to make up any positions. It'll be Zachary Nelson to win the B main and an extra consolation bonus point as a result. Going to run down through your race results here. Zachary Nelson, Travis Schmidt, William Staples, Stephen Purcell, Eric Dawn, and Robert Himes bring up the consolation race. We're now going to have a brief 3-minute warm-up. Don't go away, we'll be back with your 40-lap A-main here in just a few moments. We'll see you soon. Still under a warm-up period here from the Knoxville Raceway as we welcome you all back. Just a minute left before we get things running for the A-Main. 7 cars total we're expecting to be seeing racing then here tonight, as should be a very fun race here indeed for all drivers so far in this field. You see them just completing their final warm-up laps now as we get set to go racing for 40 more here from the Knoxville Raceway. Don't forget, right after this, we're going to be hopping on over to the 350M Modified Series over at the Lucas Oil Speedway for their season opener here for Saturday Night Dirt Clash, for it should be an absolutely thrilling race for them. 20 seconds left on the clock as track will have a brief rework. You can see it starting to slick off right on the bottom side as the 12 car having a little bit of fun down there on the berm. These guys continue to wrap their way up here in this warm-up. But now, as warm-up has finished up, all heat races and last chance qualifiers are out of the way. So it's about high time that we get set to go racing for the A-Main here in the Pro Late Model Series. Let's take a rundown here of your starting grid. Clayton Nettleton is going to be on pole position with Todd Frolick beside him on the front row. You've then got Zachary Nelson in 3rd. Travis Schmidt is 4th. William Staples is going to be down in 5th with Stephen Purcell in 6th. Eric Solberg-Dawn is going to be 7th with Robert Himes not making a start of the qualifying heat race or consolation. Will technically be lining up in 8th, but will not be looking to get any kind of run here tonight. So far, only the back 3 are lined up and ready to go, waiting on Schmidt, Nelson, Frolick, and Nettleton for the top 4 at the moment. But when they get themselves gridded on up, we should be in for a fairly exciting race, all things considered. We've had the heat race and the B-Bang go so well so far, so should be a good one. And in fact, the top 3 not going to even grid on up. Travis Schmidt, Frolick, and Nettleton all going to be no-shows here in the A-Main. Just waiting now for these drivers to take their way around the racetrack for the final time here behind the pace truck before we get set to go. Green flag racing for what should be a great show in the 40-lap feature event. And with all drivers now lined up and ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. It's time to go racing. Zachary Nelson on pole position takes us to the green flag. Purcell with a bad start, watching up, and he and the 69 car both go into the outside wall in the big way. Eric Solberg Dawn will take full advantage, sweeps through into the second position. The 69 car also gets back to the outside wall as William Staples fires it down towards turn number 1 and 2. Continue to work our way through your 40-lap heat race. Zachary Nelson has built up a very substantial lead up the road for these drivers, now clear by 1.8 seconds. William Staples currently the closest driver to Eric Solberg Dawn in the fight for second place. Stefan Purcell is dropping back as he picked up a boatload of damage from the opening laps at the Knoxville Raceway. While we watch this battle for second rage on. Meanwhile, interesting enough, Clayton Nettleton, the pole sitter, Robert Himes, and Todd Frolick just nowhere to be found along with Travis Smith. Those were three guys that we thought might be up at the front because they're running up in the front fairly much in the heat race as well as the B-main, but apparently not wanting to take it to the 40-lap feature. Dawn has been being caught by Staples for some time now as it looks like that 69 car starting to look to make his way around as we hit the front straightaway once more. That 69 car still working the outside line, but not able to get as much of a back-end kick out as the 12 is, but he's a bit out of shape on the exit. That's hurting him a bit. You can clearly see he's working that outside lane, though, trying to establish a cushion up there. But at the moment, Dawn is just doing such a much better job on running that kind of low to middle line here, really stepping that back end out. He's working the berm. The 69 gets unsettled, and he's into the outside wall this time around. Meanwhile, while this is going down, want to take a quick replay on what happened between Staples and Moore. This was way in the back here on our initial start of this race. See, the 12 gets up and into the outside wall as they run down now through turns 3 and 4. Purcell gets up with the apron. Staples throws it in and just pushes a bit too wide. They make contact and get hooked into the outside wall. That just killed Purcell's momentum throughout the rest of the race so far. And in fact, now Staples has dropped back even further. So now Nelson's got a 5-second gap with absolutely no competition behind him. And Solberg checks up, allow for Dawn to sweep around the outside line. Staples working the outside line, trouble into the wall, and caution flag will be out in the A-main. Yellow flag on the speedway as William Staples gets into it in a big way with Eric Dawn. This is going to allow Purcell to catch up, and wow, okay. Getting into it a bit much there underneath the safety car period. We'll take a quick rundown of what just happened here to initially start this whole mess. This was coming around off of turn number 4. The 12 just runs the 69 into the outside wall and ends up turning himself. And that will then result in Silver Dawn running down William Staples. And just tried to take him out. No excuse about that one. The 12 absolutely tried to wipe him there. Since then, Eric Solberg has left the racetrack, and it's going to make it a 3-car race from here on out to the end of this one with Zachary Nelson, William Staples, and Stefan Purcell going to be both in a line. Lights are out aboard the pace truck. We get set to go green flag racing once more this time around. Getting set to do battle all over again as the pace truck rounds turns numbers 3 and 4. Purcell picking what lane he wants to go on. Staples to the outside, doesn't get a good launch as it will be Zachary Nelson to take off. Side by side for second as Stefan Purcell and William Staples start to race it out. This was the caution that Purcell needed. He came into pit road, took the fast repair that these drivers are gifted at the start of the races, and now takes it around the outside line of William Staples. Staples trying to battle back, though, through turns 3 and 4. Still side by side, and now Staples is going to establish his position quite firmly as we rip it down to turn number 2, trying to slide it up, and Purcell is still there, and Purcell hanging tough from the top shelf. Staples at the moment not giving Purcell any room to work with here as Purcell still really fighting that top line, trying to see if he can get himself sorted up there and firmly established. Purcell, though, running that outside lane perfectly at the moment, and now Staples will secure as Purcell's way too high. Up and out of the groove goes the 57 car. Give it up for the 69. As we are now halfway through our feature race tonight, the practice session, the half-hour practice session for the 358 Modified Series is up, and they're both going to go around. And that'll bring out caution flag number 2 as William Staples and Stefan Purcell both get into it. Nelson continues to lead the way. Looks like Purcell will be gifted the spot over that of William Staples. We will once more get a quick look back as to what happened here between Stefan Purcell and William Staples. This one was coming around, I believe, turns 1 and 2. It was turns 1 and 2 as you see Purcell closing up on Staples and just got underneath the back bumper and sent the 69 around and the 57. You saw Purcell trying to hit the binders in an effort to try to give the spot back, but just wasn't able to. But it's caution flag number 2 here in the A main. Well, we have a brief second here, actually. Want to see if we can't get a quick hold of Stefan Purcell in his number 57 car. We'll see if we can get a hold of him. Stefan, this is Noel Rempel up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know these cautions are brief, so I'm going to hit it to you real quick. What happened there?
Oh, I was just following too close. I was trying to get across him over the next turn, but it didn't work.
Well, hopefully you'll be having some better luck, and hopefully that great battle between you and Staples will continue. Best of luck on the restart here.
Yes, sir.
Fairly cut and dry then, it would seem, for Stefan Purcell, as meanwhile the pace truck will once again come around through turn numbers 3 and 4, down into pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Zachary Nelson takes off. Halfway home in the A main, Purcell clear, trying to make the run up on Zachary Nelson for the lead. But Nelson just so good on that bottom line that Purcell is not able to get up to the back end of the 07. You see William Staples really starting to fall back. I think all the damage building on that Pro lane model really starting to accumulate. Meanwhile, Zachary Nelson remains clear up at the front of the field by about 0.6 of a second as we continue to run the laps down from the Knoxville Raceway. Zachary Nelson has so far dominated the race tonight. The 07 car has been absolutely on fire. Stefan Purcell in the Navy 57 has had a bit of an up and down night so far, but he still runs at the second position. Overall, if this goes green to the end, it's looking like it could be a fairly simple race for a lot of these drivers. It's not quite the turnout we were hoping for the season opener of the Pro Late Model Series, but obviously the Pro Late Models never have been the most popular car of the iRacing service, so it was to be expected with a slightly lower turnout. Hopefully we'll be seeing higher attendance races later on throughout the series, as Nelson continues to pull away with no signs of slowing down. You see some of that slick stuff starting to now build up on that bottom lane of the racetrack, as well as right up there near the berm. So a lot of the drivers now are going to be a little bit more hesitant to see if they want to put their front tires near that, especially down that front straight. And we can kind of tell right there as well as Staples runs through that he's being able to kick that back on a little bit more. He's running right on that black slick mud at the moment that is starting to develop down on the bottom lane here of this racetrack. Meanwhile, the laps continue to tick away. Less than 10 laps to go over race leader Zachary Nelson, who holds the fastest lap so far this race of an 18.33. Shane, there is no bonus points for the fastest lap, but the way it's shaken up right now, he is set to walk away from here with 58 points. That would be absolutely massive for Zachary Nelson if he intends on making repeat appearances here in this championship. The lap times continue to tick, tick, tick away. Stefan Purcell is losing more and more time back to Zachary Nelson. He has not been able to reel out any sort of speed here thus far. The good news, though, for that 57 car is at the moment, he himself is 4 seconds clear of William Stables, who is just exiting turn 2 and firing down the back straightaway. Zachary Nelson is now about half a lap behind William Staples. He's not going to be having any sort of lap traffic play any factor into how his race is going to play out. All he's got to do at the moment is just run these last 3 laps out. And then that 07 car is going to be absolutely home free in his racing optics machine. Look at him really working that bird there, trying to give himself a little bit of a scare as he is really picking that front left wheel up. Make that now 2 laps to go. And then just one more this next time around if we don't get a caution on this second to last lap. And it will not go down that way at all as he will take the white flag final lap from Knoxville. Absolutely no competition through turns 3 and 4 from Stefan Purcell. Zachary Nelson will win the season opener in the Pro Late Model Series for Saturday Night Dirt Clash. And then as we will run down through your official post-race results here tonight, we've got yourself Zachary Nelson, the race winner with Stefan Purcell down in second place. William Staples will wrap up third. Eric Solberdan is in fourth, but after deemed guilty of attempted intentional wrecking, he will not be scoring any points. Clayton Edelson, Todd Frolick, Travis Schmidt, and Robert Himes will also not score points as they did not attempt to make a start here in the A-Main. That's going to be all for now, though, here from your Pro Late Model Series. But don't forget, you've still got the 3.5A Modifies. They're coming up before too long. We'll be with you back with more in just a little while.
wanna trap like bitch, you wanna trap like
Well, we continue to work our way through tonight's program, this time with the 358 Modified Series from Lucas Oil Speedway, a track just introduced to iRacing this past build, and should be a much more entertaining race than we had on the Pro Late Model Series. Currently, 21 cars signed up and ready to go. That means we're going to be getting 3 heat races on the night for us here today, and should be a very fun racing for all these drivers. 3 drivers will advance from each heat into the feature. If there's not enough, or if there's more drivers than there are spots in the feature race, we'll be going through the D, C, and B main process in a stacked main format. I mean, if you're in the D main, you have to work your way through the D main, to the C main, to the B main, to get up into the A main, but currently there are under 26 cars, so the way it's looking like, we'll just be running our heat races, and then it will be smooth sailing from there. But at the moment, practice is just wrapping on up for the 358 Modified Series and our current practice groups out there over on the racetrack. It should be a fun race for a lot of the drivers up in this one, as among these drivers, you've got a lot of different presets, it's worth noting. You've got 4, 3 of them with BRESETTE, and one of them that starts with an I. So it should be a very fun race then here as we continue to work our way through the inaugural Saturday Night Dirt Clash Series. And once again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us here on this excellent Saturday night here, full of Saturday Night Dirt Track racing. It's been a good race so far. Heck, we had a 4-car Pro Late Model race that honestly was not that bad, all things considered. You had a couple of cautions here and there, a couple of battles here and there, but now we get set to roll over into qualifying, and there's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to be looking to play for some extra times here, as looks like it might be that of Robert Robinson, the Canadian, who will be kicking things off here in this one for the number 22 car. But you already got a few drivers out there on the racetrack, as it has gone through a bit of a rework since the half-hour practice is concluded, and they just tore up the racetrack. Hunter Hansen going to be among those drivers to put down a baseline time for the guys out there trying to qualify. Dylan Schrum will be the first driver to put down a proper lap time, and Ed Brzezek going to quickly topple that with a 15.275, just 27 thousandths back is that of Dylan Schrum. Stefan Purcell, we saw him get a podium at the Pro Late Model race, but it was almost on merit because the only other driver that was competing found himself disqualified from the race. Purcell will be rounding out the top 10 thus far, but almost a second off, so he's going to have to do a bit of work here in those heat races to get things kicked off. While there are 10 drivers that have qualified and another 2 that are looking to set times, including Speedy Brissett and Kenny Wyman Jr., it is still worth noting that a good chunk of the drivers out here having a rough ride. Wyman Jr. is going to put up the provisional pull time of 15.259, 15th thou clear of Ed Brzezek, and trying to see if he can't capitalize on that one as he rounds his way off of turn number 4. Cross the start finish line. Will it be an improvement this time around? No, will not. Slow by almost a 10th of a second. How about this, though? The top 5 separated by less than a 10th. This is a close 358 modified field, and you know that means we're going to be in for a barn burner of a show then here tonight. As 24 is going to spin it across the line and clip the Uke tires over on the inside line. Meanwhile, Sammy McNabb trying to get his way up in front along with Stephen Brissett. Meanwhile, Jake Brissett, the Canadian, going to go up to provisional pole, and he's actually going to pull it off. He's content with just that one flying lap. Stephen McNabb trying to see if he can improve from 9th. Stephen Brissett going to move his way up to second place as Dylan Glass will put down a time of 15.376. That puts Dylan Glass now 8th fastest in the number 18 car here. Or scored as the 18, but really has the 1 on his machine. Jake Brissett will log another quick lap, 15.194. We'll expand on this fastest laps. Damian Hagan, meanwhile, and David Kalogi are 2 drivers that we have yet to see complete their qualifying laps, or even make an attempt at their qualifying laps. Kologi will be the first one across the line, and he's already good enough for second place. The top 5 still separated by just 1/10 of a second as the 72 car rips around the high side of the racetrack of Lucas Oil Speedway, trying to see if he can pick up a spot from Jake Brissett and take pole position and the 3 bonus points that go with it. Damien Hagan moves his way up to 6th place meanwhile. Kologi's got 1 lap left to go. This is his final qualifying lap, crossing the line this time by, and it is not an improvement. It is an improvement for Kologi, and only 8 stinking foul back for David Kologi. That's going to be a monumental fight if he and Jake Brissett end up side by side. Damien Hagan getting set to cross the start-finish line this time by. Can he improve from P6? Logs a 15.194. Make that a 13.330. Not going to be enough. Still got Preston Daniel and Johnny Urias trying to see if they can get themselves sorted, but looks like 25 is going to go for a spin. He's going to flip over against the Uke tires. The 25 up and over, leaving Johnny Urias, to finish up qualifying all by his lonesome. We went from having 21 cars having 24 in just this qualifying session alone. A lot of latecomers coming into this one. And the 26 car going to be starting up in 10th place as the qualifying draws to a close. And with that, we get set for heat race number 1. Going to get a look at how things are going to shake on up in heat race number 1. 6-car field with Jake Brissett up on pole position with Ed Brissett down in 2nd place. Jeremy Thornton is going to be in 3rd with Sammy McNabb in 5th. Hunter Hansen is 5th. Preston Daniel is 6th. Transfer spot sits where Jeremy Thornton will be starting, but remember, if there is lower than 26 cars, we will be finding ourselves with everybody making a straight run into the feature event. Sammy McNabb and Preston Daniel both not going to make starts here in heat race number 1, making it now a 4-car heat with Jake and Ed Brissett, Jeremy Thornton and Hunter Hansen. The 23 car trying to scrub a little bit of heat into the tires there as we set off on our first of 2 pace laps. Should be a fun race around the Bullring Lucas Oil Speedway. 1 lap left to go before we kick off your season opening race for the 358 Modifieds. Pace truck is into pit road. Going to be in the hands of Jake Brissett. 56 on the car, scored as the 2. As he was going to fire his way through turns 3 and 4. Green flags out for heat race number 1. We're underway. Solid getaway from this field. We're clean through turns 1 and 2. Down over into turns 3 and 4. Jake Brissett's going to lead the opening lap. Ed Brissett hanging tough in 2nd place. Jeremy Thornton is down in 3rd with Hunter Hansen bringing up 4th right behind them. Ticking heat laps away as Ed Brissett thrown in there, trying to go for the race lead, but no room. Jake Brissett slams the door shut. It's the number 2 entry down into turn 3. Still single file. We're at over halfway through our opening heat race here of your 358 Modified race night. 2 laps to go. Looks like everybody's wanting to just take this one nice and easy. Nobody's wanting to make any kind of desperate moves just yet. And it'll be final lap. This time by at the line. White flag is waving from Lucas Oil Speedway in heat race number 1. Jake Brissett starting on pole for the heat race. He's going to win the heat race in easy fashion, taking heat race number 1. Quick look at your results for heat race 1. It was Jake Brissett from Ed Brissett, Jeremy Thornton, and Hunter Hansen bring up the top 4. Sam McNabb and Preston Daniel not making starts for the opening heat race on the night. For heat race number 2, it's David Kalogi on pole with Damian Hagan down in 2nd. Johnny Arias is 3rd. David Kaiser is 4th. Brandon Walsh will be in 5th with Joe Webster bringing up 6th place. Pole sitter Kalogi is still not qualified for this one. He is not gridded for this one. He has very much qualified. At the moment, only 2nd, 3rd, and 4th out there on the racetrack. Kalogi will get himself gridding up at the 72 cars. We've got at least 4, and that is all that we're going to get. Brandon Walsh and Joe Webster not making to start heat race number 2 as we get set to roll. Oh, the 26 car geared it up into reverse. Wrong way, Johnny Arias. You have to be going forward, not backwards. Two pace laps for heat race number 2 here on the night. The 72 car trying to stay up and even with the 21. It was a very clean opening heat race on this little tight bullring circuit. Hoping we can get a second equally clean run here in heat race number 2. Going to work our way around turn numbers 3 and 4. Pace truck's in. It's now in the hands of David Kalogi. He could theoretically go at any time. It's up to that 72 car when he wants to make his move and jump to the race lead. Around 3 and 4. Now we're underway. Heat race 2. Let's get to it. Side by side for second place. Johnny Rice trying to make a move on Damian Hagan as David Kaiser falls back to 4th. Still packed up nice and tight together down the front straightaway. The 26 car trying to push up to the backbone there of the 21, but so far no room to do so. Look out for David Kaiser, still waiting in the wings, but starting to drop back as well. David Kalogi still has himself a solid run up in front. Remember, heat race winners get themselves 3 bonus points apiece. 5 bonus points apiece, excuse me, and it was another 3 for the pole sitter. So Kalogi looking to get himself 5 points to kick off his 358 modified season. The heat race is absolutely flying by as we get set to round out heat race number 2 already. White flag in the air this time by. The 72 of Kalogi still clear as we hit turns 3 and 4. Pushing way up to the cushion. A lunge back from behind by Arise. Not going to get there. David Kalogi wins heat race number 2. Results for heat race 2 now up on your screens as it was Kalogi to win from Damian Hagan, Urias, and Kaiser bring up 3rd and 4th. Next race up, heat race number 3 in the 358 modified series. Stephen Brissett from Brissett Racing going to be up there on pole with Dylan Schrum in 2nd, Dylan Glass is 3rd, Zachary Nelson is 4th, Stephen Purcell will be 5th with Samuel Bachman down in 6th in the 007. Waiting on Schrum, Glass, and now Purcell will reset back to the pit road, it looks like. Don't tell me we've had another case of your top 2 abandoning ship. Potentially just wanted to start near the back of this field. Dylan Glass will get himself gridded up. We've got 4 cars, and it will be, again, 4 cars in the feature event, or in heat race number 3. And I do believe that means we are going to have a 4th heat race on the night as well. So we've gone from just 1 heat race and into the feature to 4 heat races all in one go. Looking to be a clean start here in this one as Pace Truck takes them around for their second pace lap. The 59 car is going to be on the bottom side. Meanwhile, it's in the hands of Stephen Brissett, the Heat Race 3 pole sitter. Coming around 3 and 4. The 07 car pulling out in front. Can't do that, though. Got to stay in line. The 59 jumps. We're back underway. The 1 clearing up, trying to push around Dylan Glass getting over around Zach Nelson. Nelson throwing it in, though, trying to make the run up from the top side. Samuel Bachman right in behind, trying to see if he can follow to on the bottom lane, but the 07 no speed from the bottom apron there. Brissett clear with the race lead down to the turn 3. Three down, 3 to go in Heat Race 3 as we continue to work our way through tonight's program. No trouble just yet in your 3-5A modified race. At the moment, it's really a question of who's going to get this 3rd and final podium spot and the last transfer spot in Heat Race number 3. Coming around to take the white flag this time by with that of Stephen Brissett. Brissett's going to be clear off of turn number 2 and clear into 3. Bachman trying to throw it in on the inside. Zach Nelson, but no room. Brissett's going to take the heat race win, and Nelson hangs on for 3rd. Results up on your screens for heat race number 3. This time around, Brissett from Glass, from Nelson, Bachman, Schrum, and Purcell bring up the rear in your 3rd heat race. Heat race number 4, and I believe this might be the last heat race. This one headed up by Kenny Wyman Jr. in the number 7 car with Speedy Brissett in 2nd. Alan Ellis is 3rd with Alex Hammer in 4th. Robert Robertson, the Canadian, is in 5th with Travis Back in 6th. Back not going to be making the grid as we're already rolling for your 4th heat race on the night. 5 cars getting set to take it for another 6 laps. The homemade looking DuPont 24, looking like it was made fresh out of MS paints. Going to be lined up beside the 03 of Speedy Brissett for Brissett Racing. And we are now 1 lap to green in our 4th heat race of the night. We can have a maximum of 8 with the top 3 advance from each. I think 4 is the number we're going to be hitting tonight. And I don't think we're going to be getting a B main, but there is always the slim possibility of that happening. Around 3 and 4, Kenny Wyman Jr. going to be on the loud pedal. Alan Ellis jumping onto the bottom shelf. 2 abreast down through turn numbers 1 and 2 for the first time today in heat race number 4. The 93 pushing up and clear. The 03 makes contact. That's going to nudge Speedy Brissett out of line for the front row. Alan Ellis is up in the 2nd. Hammer in 3rd. And more contact. Robert Robertson getting up into the 03, who's going to fall back to 5th. Unfortunate for Speedy Brissett, who's went from second to fifth in just 2 laps, being bullied out of line by Alan Ellis and Robert Robinson, as we continue the Hammer Lucas Oil Speedway. Brissett starting to make up some more ground, though, and he's going to be alongside the 22 car this time around. Down the back straightaway as we get set to take 2 laps to go. The 03 trying to throw it up the inside of Robert Robinson to take away 4th place, but it won't mean anything. Oh, almost going around. Might have been a slight bit of contact there, but they managed to keep it sorted. Kenny Wyman Jr. off of turn number 4 will take the white flag. And into the final corner, Wyman clear by 0.7 of a second. He will easily take heat race number 4 for the win. Brissett not able to recover. He'll have to settle for 5th. Heat race number 4 is complete, with Wyman, Ellis, Hammer, Robinson, and Brissett to bring up the field. Sure enough, that's going to be a wrap on your sessions here for the heat races. No consolation races required. We're going to take a quick step back. We'll be back with your feature event in just a moment.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson.
Unbelievable finish.
It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Aloma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. For Audie's win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out?
Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron. Drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Speedway, where we are continuing to steadily work our way through tonight's program. 24 drivers about to roll off here for what should be an exciting 30-lap feature event. Thank you once again for everybody taking the time to join us here on this wonderful Saturday night of racing. It's been a fun show so far, and hopefully it'll be a fun show from here to the end as well. If you're just tuning in, you've missed the Pro Late Model race, but you're just in time for the A main of the 35A Modified Series. And then don't forget, we also have the 360 Sprint cars coming up before too long over at good old Volusia Raceway Park. You see everybody so far geared up and absolutely raring to go as drivers are working their way around the Lucas Oil Speedway. Everything is so far wrapped up over in the warm-up session, so it's time for your starting grid for the A-Main. Jake Brissett is going to be on pole position with David Kalogi down in second. Stephen Brissett is third with Kenny Wyman Jr. in fourth. Ed Brissett is fifth. Damian Hagan is sixth. Dylan Glass is seventh with Alan Ellis in eighth. Jamie Thornton will be in ninth with Johnny Rice in 10th. Zachary Nelson is 11th with Alex Hammer. bringing up 12th place on the grid. There you got Hunter Hansen in 13th with David Kaiser in 14th. Samuel Bachman is 15th with Robert Robinson in 16th. Samuel McNabb is 17th with Brandon Walsh in 18th. Dylan Schrum is 19th with Speedy Brissett, bringing up the back of the top 20. For there you've got Joe Webster, Stephen Purcell, Travis Back, and Preston Daniel to bring up the rear of your 24-car feature race in the 3-5A Modified Series. Just waiting now on the last couple of drivers to get themselves sorted here before we go racing for tonight's A main. And a couple of drivers not making starts from the rest of the grid. Dylan Glass is among them. With them, you've got David Kaiser, Travis Back, McNabb, Walsh, and more. So 24 cars were scheduled to start the A main. Only 16, though, fully onto the grid, with the 17th set to join these guys, as we are already kind of jostling around in the back here, as some drivers not able to get themselves fully fired up on the starting grid. Oh, and almost wrecking in the background here is Kenny Wyman Jr. kind of getting a bit out of shape with the 23 car as they were trying to kind of get themselves a bit sorted on out. Thornton to the bottom side, and we get set to go green flag racing here this coming time around from the Lucas Oil Speedway. The A main getting set to kick off as 16 cars are ready to rumble. In the hands of Jake Brissett on the inside line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 3-5A Modified A main. Thank you for tuning in for Saturday Night Dirt Clash through 3 and 4. Green flag is out. We're underway. Jay Brissett pulling clear, still side by side, down to the turn numbers 1 and 2 for the first time today in the 30-lap feature. The 15 up the inside of the 24. Ed Brissett and Jeremy Thornton racing side by side. Kenny Wyman Jr. in the mix of this as well. Contact almost. The 24 scored at the 7, washes up and wide. But we're still green flag racing from Lucas Oil Speedway. Race leader Jay Brissett is absolutely on a tear, but the battles are all raging on back in the mid-pack. How about the 26 of Johnny Arias getting into it with Zachary Nelson, forcing the 07 up towards the outside wall. The 72 also in the fray as he's going to run to the inside line. I believe that's going to be Hunter Hansen to the inside of the 07, the 93 as well. Caught up in the fray of Alan Ellis. Down the back straightaway, the 72 and the 07 still racing side by side, almost 3 wide. Down the front straightaway, the 07 just now being able to pull clear. Brissett still clear by 0.3 of a second, about 2 car lengths from David Kalogi down through turns 1 and 2. Make that 3 and 4 as he will lead the 6th lap around. Dylan Glass already a lap down. He started this race all the way back from pit road. And the 72 and the 07 once again dicing it out amongst each other. So far, though, this has been a very clean race so far, all things considered. These guys have been absolutely on a tear. This is a thrilling race we've got here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. The 93 of Allenell is up the inside of the 72 car, trying to dive it into turns 3 and 4. Alan Ellis still washing up the 72 car, just able to pull that outside that little bit more. And even behind them, you've got more drivers racing side by side. You've got the 03 of Speedy Brissett trying to close up on Samuel Bachman deeper in the field. You also have the fight up here developing for the podium positions. Kenny Wyman Jr. back and forth trying to fend off Jeremy Thornton and Damian Hagan. Right behind him, along with Ed Brissett, the 15 in the fray. To the inside is the 21 car. Can he push up and get clear of the 23? No, he can't. The laps continuing to just run down from Lucas Oil Speedway. And problems for Jeremy Thornton. Technical failure to see the 23 tumbling down the timing order and out of this race. Up the inside, 23, gonna wash up and make contact with the 21 to the middle of turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. 21 car, Damien Hagan can't be happy about that one, but he's gonna keep it clean. Jeremy Thornton in the fray, got the 15, still trying to make moves back here as well. Alan Ellis up the inside and side by side with Hunter Hansen down the front straightaway. For you folks over on the YouTube stream wanting to race in the 360 sprint cars, 360 sprint car practice session just went up moments ago. 15 laps down, going to be 15 to go, this time by the line. Jake Brezak, continue ball clear, caution flag is out, and it's trouble for Robert Robinson as we are under caution flag number 1. Getting a look at the replay, this was Robert Robinson coming around turns 3 and 4. I think this is caution for all by his lone. Oh, pushed too wide onto the flat stuff, and he rolled over down the front straightaway and almost collected the number 1 car there as well. That's just like hazard getting too wide, and it looks like he will not be allowed, or he will be allowed to regain some of his spots. Steven Brissett, though, holy cow, still running for 3rd place, and it looks like it'll be that number 56 car up there in the race lead. David Kologi, though, pulling into pit road. His race looks like it might be done. Jake Brissett still with the race lead. Lights out aboard the iRacing safety truck. We go green flag racing this time by. Drivers getting themselves sorted up here as we get set to stack it up and do it all over again. Jefferson holds the race lead, and we're back to green flag racing here in the A main of the 358 Modified Series. 3 wide down the back straightaway. The 26 up the inside, the 21 contact. Can he save it? Yes, he does. Has to cut across the infield grass, but he's going to bring out no yellow flag. We're still going to be clean and green. A lot of beating and banging, though, in the middle of the field, so maybe not entirely clean, but certainly green as we continue to take the laps away in your 30-lap feature event. What a race we're having here so far. Caution's out again. Alex Hammer collecting this one. He's going to take the tow to pit road. Yellow flag back out on the speedway. Going to get another look at this one as the 36 up top with the 72 on the bottom here. Did he have contact down into turn number 3? Oh, no, he just overcorrected and washed into the outside wall. Nearly flipped over, and he actually did collect Alex Hammer as well. As a result of that big mess, that is unfortunate for Robert Robertson, as the 22 car once again getting collected as somebody else's mess here. This time not of his own doing. He just got clipped by a spinning 36 car and looped it around himself, and that brought out caution flag number 2. Jake Brissett, your race leader. I believe we're 2 laps to green this time by. Will it be 1 lap to green? Yes, it will. And 1 lap to green. Drivers are getting stacked up, doubled up. We're ready to rumble once more. Pace truck dives into pit road, up to the 56 car. He's got Kenny Wyman Jr., though, very aggressive all race long. He's up now, up on the top shelf. The 24 car scoring as the 7 to see if he can get the jump here on the 56 as we come down through turns 3 and 4. Green flags out. We're back on our way at Lucas Oil Speedway. And 4 wide, deep in the pack. We're wrecking already. Way back in this one. We're going to keep it green, sort of. All things good so far, down into turn numbers 3 and 4. Jake Brissett has pulled clear of the field. Field stacking up a little bit, but we're still going to be all good and smooth sailing. Caution laps still do not count in any series, whether it be the Heat race, Consolation, or the Feature. Every lap will be under green. The 93 rubbing doors with the 26 down the front straightaway. And it looks like that will be the 26 car there of John Urias, who will pull clear of Alan Ellis. '72 car running that inside line still, trying to see if we can find any sort of a hole. He's side by side with David Kologi. Kologi trying to work his way through after he had to come down pit road under that latest yellow flag, but still green flag racing and trying to work his way up and through the field. Solid race for him so far. He's 3 wide with the 1 at the 007 as the 03 Speed was going to lose a couple of places up on the inside line. How about that 23 car of Jeremy Thornton still running right behind the 59 of Stephen Brissett, with Ed Brissett right tucked in behind him. The 15 car having a solid run for himself. It's 5 to go. This time by at the line at the Amen. Kenny Wyman Jr. clips the outside wall. Won't impact him though. Down in the turn numbers 3 and 4. Jake Brissett still clear by now, a 2.5 over the rest of the pack here. Still slicing and dicing for the last spots available up for grabs in tonight's A-Main. A slide job here over the 72 goes a bit wrong as David Kologi tries to send one up the inside of the 93. Ellis pulls clear though from the top shelf in the battle for 8th. Side by side as well in front as Ed Brissett has moved his way to the bottom, trying to take his teammate Stephen Brissett up on the inside line while also trying to fend off Damon Hagan right behind him. The 59 is going to slide out now. The 21 car getting caught up in the fray as well. The 26 makes contact. Johnny Urias having to slip back a little bit. 2 laps to go for Lucas Oil Speedway. More contact. Are they going to survive it over to the final lap of this race? It looks like maybe just washing out big time. Oh, trouble! Look out! The 72 of Kologi upside down, crashing hard in turn numbers 3 and 4. Jake Brissett is going to take it around turns 3 and 4 as he's got the white flag lap, and he will secure the A-Main and the first victory in the 3-5A Modified Series. They're wrecking big time, though, across our finish line. Everybody's in a huge heap of mayhem. Holy cannoli, a massive, massive pileup of epic proportions there on that final lap. We will get a look on what the heck just happened with all of that on the final lap of this race, as there was a lot that went down here. Started there with the 15 that went upside down, so that battle ended in a crash. They were still stuck there when the race leaders came around. And then you had all of this mayhem go down as well in turn numbers 3 and 4. That was the 07 that got caught up and shoved up into the outside wall. And then you had more trouble as, oh, wow, okay, a couple of drivers were going to be getting disqualified as well with that one, as drivers were all over the place on that one. But what a ride for Jake Brissett, who will take a well-earned race win. And we will now get a look at your official post-race results from the A-Main, but my goodness, out of breath up here in the commentary booth. We've got yourself Jake Brissett on pole, Kenny Wyman Jr. in second, Jeremy Thornton will be in third with Jamie Hagan in fourth. How about Stephen Brissett in fifth? Alan Ellis is sixth. Samuel Bachman is in seventh. Hunter Hansen is in eighth. Stephen Brissell brings up ninth with Speedy Brissett in 10th. For there, we've got Zachary Nelson, David Kologi, Ed Brissett, Johnny Urias, Dylan Glass, and Alex Hammer to round out the drivers that started this race, along with Robert Robinson. David Kaiser and everybody else you see here up on your screens are going to be finding themselves not finishing the race here tonight. But that was an epic race here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Don't go away. Still got more coming on up. The 360 Sprint Cars will be back before long. We'll see you soon.
wanna trap like bitch, we wanna trap like Bitch, you wanna trap like. Bitch, you wanna trap like.
We're back and ready for more, and it's the final race of the night. It is the 360 Sprint Car Series about to take off here from Volusia Speedway Park. Once again, hello and welcome to the Saturday Night Dirt Clash. My name is Nolan Rambo, bringing you once again all of the coverage here from start to finish of what has so far been an absolutely amazing opening night for Dirt Clash. I would say so far been a massive, massive success. I want to thank all of our drivers so far for being able to take the chance to come on out and race with us for what has been an absolutely epic way to kick off some Saturday Night Dirt Clash racing. And hopefully we'll be seeing these guys and more back and ready for action deeper and deeper as we continue to work our way through these series. But for now, it is time to get to qualifying of our what I believe will be our final race then here of the night, as you will be having the likes here of Jason LaVille, Stefan Purcell, Tommy Rowe, Zach Bremer, and more. Guys had to take it up there to the racetrack. This time, instead of 3 laps, which is the norm, we get 4 laps with the 360 Sprint Cars, since they're that much quicker. May as well give him that one-shot qualifying attempt. The 24 car, though, getting out of shape real early on his first attempt. He will reset back to pit row. Trevor Gottke in the 39 car taking into the racetrack first, really hugging that bottom side. It is number 39 as he's set to run in the round. Meanwhile, you've got yourself Jason LaVille setting the provisional pole time. 13.126, though Tommy Rowe going to quickly best that time on the lap of his own. Gottke trying to run his way around the racetrack, didn't get a lap time on his first one, had the lap invalidated. Second lap, it will be a lap time of 13.985, but not nearly good enough for pole position. Still got drivers, though, cycling their way around the racetrack. Zachary Nelson trying to see if he can put himself up a bit further, but he is going to back out in his qualifying attempt. Trevor Gottke trying to make another run at this one, though, as Seth Dowling will go third fastest on the boards. Randy Post will be in third as well, as he will rocket up and by Dowling. Solid opening race so far. Chad Hodges putting himself 7th fastest in the 5:24 for the BJ&H machine, racing with the likes of Justin Wilson, Sean Deal, and more, along with Barrick Uphold, also present here tonight. Uphold going to log a 13.195, and Hodges not able to improve. How about Randy Post, though? He's starting to put himself up a little bit further in this one as we continue to work our way through the race tonight, as these guys trying to see if they can really push the envelope what these cars can do. Miles Morse ripping around in his own machine. Morse so far sits 5th fastest with a 13.204. And looks like he will be backing out of his final lap, will not be able to improve. Justin Wilson, though, is not put down an attempt, and he'll be trying to see if he can get that number 3 car up any further on the qualifying boards on his first flying lap. Ninth place so far for Wilson at the end of his second lap with a 13.824. Trying to see if he can catch Tommy Rowe on his 13.077. Improves again, 13.715, but still a little ways back from Zach Bremer in the 24 car. Across the start-finish line for the final time. Will it be an improvement? It will, 13.679, but again, not enough to be able to put himself up there on provisional pole. Carson Keeler just now taking it over to the racetrack, seeing what he can do in the number 169 Busch Beer 360 Sprint car. 2 heat races it's going to be set for tonight, with I believe it'll be 1 consolation race as well before we get set for a 40-lap feature event around the Volusia Speedway Park. Kyoto continues to improve on the lap times, up to 10th place of a 13.798. Is it enough for a bit further up the grid on this final lap? Improves on the time, but once again will not be improving on the positioning. Randy Post 1/1000th of a second back from current pole sitter Tommy Rowe, and it looks like that's going to be all we've got for heat race number 1 then on the night, as we will continue to get ourselves up and sorted for heat race number 1. Qualifying going to draw to a close. Tristan Underwood, Marcus Cox, and Summer Carnell not going to be making qualifying attempts. Not sure if Underwood and Cox are even going to be making attempts to race tonight, but we shall, I guess, see. First heat race then of the night. Tommy Rowe bringing it up with Jason LaViolet down in second place. You've got the likes of Miles Morse in third. Zachary Nelson is fourth. Justin Wilson will bring up fifth with Chad Hodges in sixth. How about Stephen Purcell bringing up seventh place? And Summer Carnell, who did not set a qualifying lap, will be down in the number 8. Waiting on Morse, Nelson to grid on up along with Carnell. All drivers gridding on up, save for Summer Carnell, and we will have ourselves a 7-car heat race. To kick off tonight's 360 sprint car race from the Volusia Speedway Park. The 360 sprint cars are quite obviously the fastest series that we've got so far in Saturday Night Dirt Clash. And currently they will be having their first couple of races shakedown at Eldora Speedway and the dirt track at Charlotte after Volusia. The smallest track that these guys are actually going to go to, I believe, will be that of Federated Auto Parts at I-55. That'll be for their 9th race on the season. The biggest track, how about USA International Speedway? But I think the biggest name, though, on the track for these guys, Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee for race number 10. Waiting on the iRacing safety truck to pull down into pit road this time by, as these drivers getting set to rumble for 8 laps around this half-mile oval. The 45J going to be up there on that top shelf in the number, well, scored as the number 8, but it got 45J over on the side. Pace truck's down and in. Green flag's out. We're on the way for heat race number 1. Summer Cardell did not make a start to this race. Meanwhile, Chad Hodges and Stephen Purcell racing down side by side, thinking about 3-wide contact, and they're going to go around. Caution on the speedway in heat race number 1. Tommy Rowe will have the heat race lead as Hodges and Purcell both went around over in turn number 2. This driver's going to have to slow down here and wait for the iRacing pace truck to catch up to him. But a crash between Purcell and Hodges brings us under our first yellow flag here of the night. Side by side, almost 3 wide down to the turn numbers 1 and 2, and the 5-4 just cuts down across 57, and they both got spun around as a result of that one. We'll get a look with both drivers here. First with Stephen Purcell, who was kind of the driver caught off guard by this one. You're going to see the 5-4 wash right down across his nose. Nothing really that Purcell could do, and I think that's just one of those unfortunate situations of drivers getting a bit crossed up together, as we'll get one final look before we cut back to live pictures. And, yeah, nothing Purcell could do there. That's just unfortunate timing. I was actually speaking to Chad Hodges while we were waiting for this race to go live. He was mentioning he had never really driven these cars all that much prior to tonight, and I think he was just a little bit uncomfortable with how the car drives. We'll hopefully see these guys with not too much damage. It looks like they're all sorted for now. I know Purcell did come in and out of pit road, so he's taking the fast repair that iRacing gives these guys in their heat race attempt. Tommy Rowe has the race lead in heat race number 1. It'll be a single file restart here because this is a heat race. That is how these single file restarts will work. Heat races exclusively, and then it'll go double file, I believe, for the main event. Tommy Rowe will be the first driver to lead us back to the green flag here this time around. Pace trucks down and in. Green flag back in the air. We're underway once more in heat race number 1. Stefan Purcell side by side once again with Chad Hodges. Meanwhile, up in front, the fight's on for second place as these guys are trying to scrap it out. Miles Moore's trying to hang on against Jason LaViolette down the back straightaway. Top 3 automatically advance through into the feature event here tonight. Chad Hodges continuing to go to work, just put Justin Wilson down a spot as the number 3 car struggling to fight back down in the turn numbers 3 and 4. But remember, these guys are not fighting for transfer spots at the moment. They're only costing themselves time. At the moment, LaViolette holds the last one, and look at how far back it is to Zachary Nelson back in the 07 car. The 45J working it down into turn numbers 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. White flag out in heat race 1. Tommy Rowe on a tear in the number 38. He will come around through turns 3 and 4 and win heat race number 1. Going to put the race results up on your screens for the opening heat race here of the night of your 360 sprint car field. Tommy Rowe took the race win away from Miles Morrison and Jason LaViolette. They will all go through into the feature event. Zachary Nelson, Chad Hodges, Justin Wilson, and Stefan Purcell will all have to go into the consolation race. Summer Carnell did not take it to the field. One more heat race before we get going here tonight. It's Randy Post on pole. Start of heat race number 2 now with Barrick Uphold in second, Seth Dowling in third, Zach Bremer is in fourth, Carson Keeler is fifth, Trevor Gutke in 6th, Tristan Underwood is 7th, and Marcus Cox in 8th. And apologies, by the way, to the 39 car if I just completely butchered your first name. If you did, feel free to write me a meanly worded letter, and I will be sure to get it right the next time around. And big apologies as well. My voice has sounded a little bit hoarse. It's, well, because it is. That 350 and modified race just took the wind out of my sails earlier on. That was just an incredibly intense race, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a good show then in the 360 Sprint Car Series. 6 cars getting set to take it to the racetrack. I kind of figured that Underwood and Cox wouldn't be making race starts. They joined the session early and then abandoned it prior to qualifying. As one lap to green in our second heat race in your 360 sprint car field. It'll be in the hands of Randy Post in the 54 car as he takes them around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Pace truck's gonna dive into pit road. We are back underway for heat race number 2. Immediately getting off to a good job. Oh, big trouble! Cars upside down and flipping up and over the wall. Bremer is in it. Gotke is still rolling back down to the inside line. A huge crash, though, in turn numbers 1 and 2 on the opening lap of the second heat race. That was a wild, wild crash. Going to get a replay of this one for sure. I think it was the 169 of Carson Keeler that just washed out across the 24, and it was contact between the two of them. Gotke went up and over, flipping over up into the outside guardrail, tried to get it going and popped the wheelie back down into the inside wall. And you saw Bremer also kind of get collected up in this big mess as well. Bremer just left not with a whole lot that he could do. They're just stuck on the inside. Don't think there was anything he could really do in that situation there, as he, I think, went up and over the wall. What a ride, though, and that's our first sprint car flip that we have seen so far. Going to get one more look back here as Gotke went for a huge tumble down at the turn numbers 1 and 2. You see the 24 try to cross over to the inside. The 169, though, covers him off. I think that was kind of on the 24 there. But up and over goes the 39 car, clipping the 169 and just rolling it, backs it up into the outside wall in a huge way. One lap to green. Randy Post still has the race lead. Trevor Gotke is out, as is Zach Bremer. Both of these drivers not going to be able to continue heat race number 2. Halfway through, it will be 4 laps to go at start-finish. Randy Post jumping on the lap out before the pace truck could even hit pit row. We are back to green flag racing, though, here for the Volusia Speedway Park. Seth Dowling trying to chase after Barrick Uphold in the number 4. And sorry, we are rounding now lap number 3, as we were not halfway through heat race number 1. We just had to wait for the lap counter there to update a little bit. Brandon Post still has a monumental race lead here over the likes of Barrick Uphold, Seth Dowling, and Carson Keeler, all still in the mix. But you see Keeler struggling because he doesn't even have a front wing on his car as a result of that big mess down there into turn numbers 1 and 2. That's why these top 3 drivers have been able to pull out such a massive gap in such a short time. Two laps left to go in heat race number 2 in the 360 Sprint Car Series for Saturday Night Dirt Clash. Randy Post still holding the race lead as he fires it back down in the turn numbers 3 and 4 for the second to last time, taking the white flag. And made that now heat race win number 2 for Randy Post, as he will take the second heat race of the night. Results up on your screen. Randy Post, it was Post, then Uphold, Dowling, and Moore. With Keeler, Bremer, Gotke, Underwood, and Cox did not start this race. Going to pass over the rest of our heat races, and we will roll straight into the consolation race. We'll once again take it with your starting grid. It's Zachary Nelson from Carson Keeler, Chad Hodges, Zach Bremer, Justin Wilson, Trevor Gotke. Then it is Stefan Purcell, Tristan Underwood, Summer Carnell, and Marcus Cox for a 10-car consolation race. Just waiting on some of these last drivers to grid on up before we get things underway for our consolation race here tonight, as this will be to set the rest of the grid. Not a lot of drivers taking to the grid in this one. About half your grid actually sitting this one out. Hardly a surprise due to the big fact here that your 360 sprint car field will be able to have more than enough cars to be able to completely fill up the feature event. And Justin Wilson be given a little bit of a push start there by Stefan Purcell as they get themselves rolling. 12-lap consolation race should go by fairly quickly if we don't have any sort of problems, but we just saw what happened to Heat Race number 2, so we may very well get those types of problems that we are looking not to have if you want to get to the last feature event tonight in a hurry. iRacing safety truck going to round through turn numbers 1 and 2 for the final time here as we continue to slowly but surely work our way through your 360 sprint car program. We had a maximum of 5 heat races available on the docket. 3 of those were skipped due to there being an insufficient car count. I think that's just fine with these guys, though, who want to get to racing that little bit quicker. Pace trucks down and in. Green flags in the air. Zachary Nelson off and away. Justin Wilson immediately making the attack on Chad Hodges. Hodges trying to battle back up the inside line. All 5 cars going to make it into the feature event. This is just to determine who's going to start where. Wilson to the top shelf of Austin Keeler, and he's going to take away second. Keeler's not going to he's not done fighting this one out yet. He's going to go to the inside, but gets out of shape off the bottom. Justin Wilson is up to second. Oh, and even more out wide. He's going to be killed this time by Chad Hodges. Crosses over to the inside line. Will he try to pull a slide into 1 and 2? Yes, he will, but Keeler's got the run on the top shelf, and Keeler will take back 3rd place away from Chad Hodges. 1/3 down, 4 laps down, 8 to go in the B main. Chad Hodges up into the outside wall. That's going to let both Stefan Purcell and Kevin Keeler through. Going to get a really quick look at this one as Chad Hodges got up and into the outside wall over. Sorry, no, that was Keeler that got up into the outside wall. Pardon me, over in turns 3 and 4. So Keeler drops all the way back down to 5th. At this rate, he's going to be starting from the tail end of this field. Purcell starting to be caught by Keeler, though, as Keeler started to run down that number 57 car. The 169 Bush machine on a charge as he fires it back down the front straightaway with 3 laps to go. Two to go. Keeler still closing in on Purcell. Does he have the speed to make that pass stick? He's going to have to get here on that last lap if he wants to have a move. Looking really low through 3 and 4. Sliding up. Can't get there this time by Zachary Nelson, meanwhile, running through turns 1 and 2 as he tries to just hang on. Keeler trying to outlast Stefan Purcell, trying to take him on the outside line. Zachary Nelson wins the B main. And Keeler can't catch up to Purcell. Quick look at your B main results here. Nelson from Wilson, Hodges, Purcell, and Keeler bring up the field. Going to take one last step back. We'll be back with the last heat race, the last main event of the night, the 360 sprint cars. Going to be back before long. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to Volusia Speedway Park. Just over a minute left in our final warm-up session here of the evening for what has been so far an absolutely amazing race. And I have to say, I could not have asked for anything better from opening night of Saturday Night Dirt Clash. So far tonight has just been a non-stop plethora of dirt action from the pro late models, who somehow turned a 4-car main event into something that was, well, not the most watchable thing in the world, definitely had its moments. You had, of course, an absolutely barn burner race of the 3.5A modified series, and now we're going to be settling down with a bit more of a tame 360 sprint car race to round it all out for the night. Checker flag is out for the final warm session here of the night. So as we continue to work our way through the final feature of the night, we're going to get ourselves sorted here for the A main at the Volusia Speedway Park. Tommy Rose on pole position with Randy Post down in second place. Miles Morris will bring out third with Bear Cup pulled, starting in fourth. Jason Levita will be in fifth with Seth Dowling in sixth. Zachary Nelson scheduled to start seventh with Justin Wilson in eighth. Chad Hodges is ninth. Stephen Purcell is 10th. Carson Kuehl is 11th. Zach Bremer is down over in 12th place. Got ourselves Trevor Gottke and Tristan Underwood in 13th and 14th. Summer Carnell and Marcus Cox going to be 15th and 16th. Good chunk of the 360 field has since departed the speedway during our last consolation race. We're going to be left with 8 cars in the 40-lap feature then here tonight to end off the final race of our season opener for the dirt track, for Dirt Clash, excuse me. Get my words a bit confused. It's been a long and a very entertaining night, I think, to say the very least. One lap to green this time around. Pace truck going to be making that left-hand turn down into pit road. Miles Morris will have the race lead. The field bunging up. We're green flag racing in the feature race at the Volusia Speedway Park. More side by side. Look at Randy Post crossing him over, though. Down into turn numbers 3 and 4. Upward slice at the inside. Randy Post, though, takes the race lead away. Miles Morris up to the top shelf, trying to see if he can hang on to second place at the moment. Side by side as well between Zachary Nelson and Jason LaViolet in the 45J. The laps starting to really rapidly tick away here as caution is out on the speedway, and it's trouble for Stephen Purcell and Justin Wilson. Randy Post, the race leader at lap number 4. as we are now under our yellow flag, first yellow flag in our 360 sprint car feature. So proceedings not lasting long here in this one, as we will get a look back as to what happened between Stefan Purcell and Justin Wilson. Purcell was already a little bit slow. To find out where Wilson was. Sorry, this looks like it was actually a problem with Justin Wilson. Trying to find exactly what this happened. Apologies for this one. There it is, Justin Wilson up into the outside wall. Oh, he actually nosed it right into the tire barrier there. Didn't expect to see that one. Absolutely have to get another check on that one here. On board with Justin Wilson. Yeah, he just rode up onto the wall and, right, yeah, couldn't get off of it and just went face first into the tire bundles there. Hodges, Uphold, Purcell, and Wilson all going to come on down into pit road here. Uphold still down in the lane. Purcell in for service here as well. And is he out of the race car? I think he actually might be. In fact, he is. So it looks like a couple of drivers retiring early from tonight. Justin Wilson is still in the car. Eric Uphold, though, is out. One lap to green. Meanwhile, we get set to kick it all off all over again. Hopefully the remaining laps in this race. Justin Wilson will rejoin the race course. And because caution laps don't count, still on the lead lap. Pace trucks down and then back to green flag racing. Randy Post taking off with the race lead. Miles Morris trying to run him down from second place. Jason LaViolet right behind him in third. And we bomb it back down the front straightaway. Barrett Uphold officially out of the race. Stefan Purcell, meanwhile, joins the racetrack once more. Now a lap down. Very one-line racetrack reports are coming in that because of the reset track surface, it is relatively difficult to execute passes here. So drivers are more just kind of stuck running around as they are. You got to make those moves on the restart lap or you're not going to be able to do so later on in this race. Though Chad Hodges, tell that to him as he's caught up to Zachary Nelson. 07 is now trying to lunge for the inside line down to the turn number 1. 07 going to move up to make room for him. The 524, though, can't capitalize. Down to the bottom one. He's going to back out. Oh, he's going to slide in. Contact. The 07 sent up wide, and he keeps it out of the concrete wall on the top shelf. Allow Justin Wilson through. Miles Morris and now Jason LaViolet in the fight for second place, while Randy Post is starting to build up a gap up there in the front of this pack. This time, Morris will look to the inside. LaViolet looks to the inside, excuse me, sliding up, but can't execute the pass, and he's going to have to continue to fight this one now. The track's starting to slick off again, which is making moves like this more and more enticing. You can see that 45J still working on Morse. Sucking right up to the back Nerf bar of the number 6, but so far has not been able to really make a pass stick. This time sticking to the inside line. Lap traffic in the way. Stefan Purcell, they're going to split him 3 wide. Back to the inside goes LaViolet, but he's going to unsettle himself way on the bottom groove, and he's going to lose out all that time as a result. The 45J way to the inside, trying to pick up a spot on Jason LaViolet. And this time, getting secure. Miles Morse goes with the crossover down the back straightaway. LaViolet up at the top shelf, slide job, and LaViolet back to the inside line. Lap number 19, LaViolet still up there in front. Here comes Miles Morse, they're trying to charge back. Way up onto the cushion for the 45J into the outside wall. Still holding strong. Miles Morse trying to fend him off from the low side. Great fight at the moment from second on back to about fourth place, with now Chad Hodges starting to reel in this gap as well. As we continue to thunder our way through what has been an amazing race thus far. Halfway down. And it looks like this is how things are going to be settling now for this battle for second, third, and fourth, as neither driver so far is able to close on up as... Oh, big crash! Chad Hodges hard into the outside wall. Caution flag is out. Randy Post once again secure with the race lead way up at the front of the field, but a huge wreck for Chad Hodges, who goes slamming into the outside wall. And I think for Hodges, it was a simple overcorrection in the middle of 1 and 2. Oh, he hit the inside wall. And that's what sent him up and wide. And he was just body slammed that outside wall in a big way. Checking in on this again as, yeah, just a little bit of a clip is all it takes. And then from there, you have no control over the car. And even this will show, you'll be seeing him trying to work that wheel, and he just won't be able to make any kind of steam out of that car. Yeah, right there's the hit, and yeah, all the way to the left. Nothing you can do, though. Hard at the outside wall. That's going to be it, I imagine, for Chad Hodges in this race. Apparently fuel's starting to become a bit of a problem as well for drivers like Barrick Uphold, who had to abandon the race early due to not having sufficient fuel in their car. Stefan Purcell still stuck a lap or two down at this point. Now 2 down as he went down a lap on the actual race course. We are 1 lap to green, though. It's a question now, will these drivers have enough fuel to make it to the end of the rest of this race here? I believe they're still going to have to slog through about 17 more laps before they're going to be able to call it a night. Hopefully these guys will have enough to actually make it through to the end of this race. We hate to see a race decided on fuel like this. Usually these races are settled on the racetrack, but anything can happen in the Mortal Motorsports. Pace carves down, and then once again we are back to green. Oh, contact between Jason LaViolet and the Miles Morse. They managed to survive it somehow, some way. LaViolet up at the top shelf, going to be secure. Zach Rundell's trying to attack for third place now. That inside lane really slicking off now. And up to the top shelf, LaViolet will hang on just. Until this track's starting to get more and more racy, though, as these guys start to wear it in later in this feature event. Miles Morse trying to track down Jason LaViolet and then execute the pass for second place just up in front of him. $10 to go this time by. About to enter the final quarter of this race. Justin Wilson on the attack. To the inside of Zachary Nelson, trying to steal away fourth, washing up the track. Nelson still running that top line. They're still going to be side by side down in the turns 1 and 2. And neither driver willing to give. Wilson running the low line, but he's got Nelson trapped up top, and in the moment he can't complete that pass on the bottom line. They've caught more lap traffic, though. Stefan Purcell with damage. This could get hairy. Purcell's going to lift off, though, and go to the inside on the back straightaway. Is not going to cause an issue in this fight for position. Wilson slide jobs up in front of 07. Zachary Nelson crosses him back, though, down in the turn numbers 3 and 4. Here comes Wilson, though, now at the top shelf. Can he pick up the spot off from the 07? Still side by side. Another slide, this time for the 07, and Wilson cuts back down low. It's just slide job after slide job. The 3 and the 07 continuing to duel amongst themselves for the last spots inside the top 5, and the last spots on the lead lap, as a matter of fact. Well, now within the final quarter of this race, 5 laps to go. Zachary Nelson now started to build out a significant lead up in front for this 4th position. Looks like he's going to be down and out of the fight. Miles Morris has not been able to close up the Jason Lovato to pick up 2nd place. He has only been stuck way back here in 3rd, as we have 3 laps left in your 360 Sprint Car Race feature event tonight. Two to go at the line. Randy Post stole this race lead very early on off the initial race start. He has held on to it ever since. Jason Lovato has not been able to get close as we take the white flag. Randy Post just passed around another quarter of a mile. Around turns 3 and 4, Randy Post wins the feature event of the 360 Sprint Car Series. And what a thrilling way to top off the proceedings here tonight. That was a great show that these guys had as we wreck it big time down the back straightaway. But as these guys are now getting themselves sorted, we'll take a rundown of your final feature results here tonight for the 360 Sprint Car Series. It's post from Jason Lovato, Miles Morris, Zachary Nelson, Justin Wilson, Purcell, Hodges, and Uphold rounded out the drivers that started this race, with Rowe, Dowling, Keeler, Bremer, Gottke, Underwood, Carnell, and Cox not opting to make race starts. What an exciting race then we had here tonight. Could not have asked for a better event. Next time we come back for the Saturday Night Dirt Clash as a whole, we'll be having ourselves with the Pro Lane models over at the Federated Auto Parts Speedway at I-55. A bull rig track for them should make that for a very interesting night. The 358s will take over where the Pro Lane models were this week at the Knoxville Raceway. And last but not least, the 360 Sprint Cars will be hitting up Eldora, one of Tony Stewart's old tracks, and a track once famous for being on the Truck Series schedule. Should be a good race, though. For now, though, from Volusia, Lucas Oil, and Knoxville, want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the inaugural night of Saturday Night Dirt Clash. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Join us next week for more dirt racing right here for the Saturday Night Dirt Clash.